This is Jamey with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about a non-tabletop game and how it relates, or could relate, to tabletop games. And that game, the name of the game is Box VR. It's in the style of Beat Saber, if you're familiar with that VR game, in which in Box VR you pretending that you have boxing gloves on and you are punching circles that come at you from different angles. Sometimes you're punching them forward, sometimes you're punching them from the side or up. It's just kind of an exercise app that we've had a lot of fun with in our VR device. But the interesting thing to me about this game in particular, as it relates to tabletop games, is that there are lots of stats that the game gives you. It tells you how many calories you burned, how long you played, some other stats that I can't even remember. And that the reason for that I can't remember them, is that because there's only one stat that we really even just seem to care about more than the others, and that is the idea of streaks. It keeps track of how many circles in a row that you have punched without missing one or without hitting it incorrectly. And that streak number is really satisfying to see grow. And it kind of, the app knows it, their game knows it, and it even makes a sound when you hit certain thresholds. When you get to 50 or 100 or 200, it makes a little sound to congratulate you from reaching that threshold. And I think there's some point system in it that I don't even care about, but I think the points are related to how many you've hit in a row as well. But that's that streak that we seem to really care about. And I realized while playing it that I couldn't think of a tabletop game that incentivizes streaks in that same way. I'm sure it's out there. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. But the line of thinking I was having is that imagine a Euro game where there's something that you're trying to get, but in most Euro games, or many Euro games, points escalate. In viticulture, points escalate. You build up to a wine order, then you get a bunch of points at once. And in tapestry, every round you're making increasingly numbers of points. In Russian Railroads, a game that kind of inspired tapestry in this way, you start out with very few points, and then you're getting a ton at the end of the game. But what if something that you were going after in a game, whether it's points or something else, what if the important thing isn't the total number of points that you get, but rather that you get them consistently every turn in a row as often as possible, or get something? And again, it doesn't have to be points. And you keep track of that streak, the number in a row that you've obtained. And it's the streak of unbroken turns in which you do a specific thing that matters in the game. Whether the length of that streak translates into points, or the length of that streak increases your other abilities that you're doing, but something to encourage players mechanically to do something consistently every turn, and without missing a turn of doing it. I think that would add a really interesting element to a game. And it might be something, maybe I'll add it as a tapestry faction or something like that, because I don't know if it's something that I could build a whole game around, but maybe I could build one faction in tapestry around it, something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, because maybe it already exists. Maybe some games exist that encourage players to do something consistently every turn and reward them with that streak and make them feel good for having that ongoing streak. Or maybe it doesn't exist. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments about that. Or if you have a different favorite mechanism in Box VR, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Thanks.